Harry baby. Harry baby. Harry baby. Harry baby. Harry baby.
Noak, your eyes do not deceive you. I did in fact add the catastrophe.
Hail to the king.
Hold on. Un momento per favor. Just tabbed into OBS. Yep. Congratulations, you saved 100 cats! And it properly updates the count.
Harry baby.
It's great, right? I didn't want to have it do any sound effects whenever the cats hit me. Yeah, turns out when 100 particles load at the same time, doesn't really seem like much. Yeah, I'll probably make it do an actual, like, sound alert at some point. It's whenever it becomes P favor. That's whenever I start doing poor favor weirdly and wrong. Why is my model looking wrong? There we go. Because I'm sitting here with kind of mediocre posture. It's fine. But hello! Hold on, I have to do the thing. Hello, citizens. Recoil here. How are you guys? Y'all ready for some art? I'm not. I've been putting this off because I hate weight painting. But we have to do it anyway, so let's go ahead and just jump right in. I can't even get too far into the stream before y'all start being uncouth. Virus. I'm watching you. Nah, that's just how it be. Yeah, we're doing weight painting on Juice Noose. Wanna know why? Because apparently I have bad workflow and I thought weight painting could come after texturing. I was wrong. So it would seem like I took my shirt off while transitioning? Rude. I don't think I would do that. But yes, we are weight painting a character who is going to be part of Bad Times Virus's future dimension. His name is Juice Noose. We're currently working on only half the body because, fun fact, if you do one half of the body with weight painting, it'll automatically move it over to the other side. Yes, he is the boy with the hair, the pompadour, the man, the myth, the legend. We working on him. He's great. The big thing though is that we're just mostly focusing on his body right now. So, you know, you can see the incredible level of detail that I went through. Honestly, yeah, dude, the new face is actually incredibly powerful because it's like, not gonna lie, just Virus, you've seen the face. I haven't changed anything about it. That's not entirely true. I made the nose more picturesque. Like that was like the big thing with it, with like the nose, because like I had to add some additional polygons to like make some parts of the eye the way I wanted it to. But then like the other big thing is the lips. The lips are 100% different. So actually, I kind of want to talk about this because this is something that other 3D modelers, i.e. Moirai, Virus, and basically anybody else that I talk to, can kind of get a kick out of. For a hot minute, I've been kind of wanting to figure out how... Oops. Yeah, I turned off the lights. Who turned off the lights? That's bad. Stop that. I wanted to turn off the expression helpers. So for a hot minute, I have tried to figure out how Guilty Gear does their faces. Because I don't know if you've ever looked at how Guilty Gear expressions look, but they're pretty shocking awesome. I'm just saying. Like, hold on. We can actually just like look at Faust for this. Like whenever, so this guy, right? He doesn't have a face really. He has a bag. But one of his super moves is he gives you plastic surgery, right? And completely changes how your face looks. i.e. hold on. Super. So like, perfect, here. The triangle shenanigans work because there is simultaneously more and less polygons. Okay, now what do I mean by that? So if we look at Recoil's face right here, what, the level of expressiveness in these faces? I agree. That's why I wanted to figure it out. They look so stupid. They're so great. It's awesome. Yeah, and I'm about to break it down, Moira. It's fantastic. No, you're not allowed. Who said shit posting was allowed? Yeah, look at this shit. Guilty Gear just goes off the rails with their expressions sometimes. And that's what we love about it. And that's what I would love to be able to recreate with my types of, or with my models. And so let's start by talking about how a 3D model typically looks around the mouth by looking at recoil. So if we look at my model, you can see that it's just a straight up loop around the mouth. Actually, no, this isn't. This is a different, the loop actually has nothing to do with this. This is actually pretty standard for 3D topology because you can see that it just goes around the mouth in like a very nice loop, and it allows the mouth to open and deform in various shapes and all that jazz, right? Now, you'll also notice that these loops are one-to-one across the rest of the face so that they like go in and out of the face super hard, right? So basically the mouth controls everything. Like so, right? And you can't really get away from that. Except the thing about Guilty Gear style mouths and faces and all that jazz is that they control the mouth, or they break the mouth up into two sections. We have these loops on the actual lips themselves, right here, right? That then get terminated into triangles. And the reason they get terminated into triangles is because that's a method used in retopology, or whenever you retopologize something, to decrease the amount of polygons in a model. So basically, the lips have a super high polygon density, while the area around the mouth, or while the rest of the face has a super low polygon density. And so what that means is that the lips are allowed to deform more naturally than the rest of the face. Now, why does this matter? Why does it, like, oh, well, if wouldn't having more polygons be better than having less? No. Because when you have a high polygon density in the face, you can end up with more instances of weird clipping issues, which we can actually see happen in Recoil's face if we go and grab his armature, look at his face rig, and I just start grabbing shit, right? Like, let's make sure the X mirror is off. So like if I pull his mouth to the side, like he's going, ooh, right? And then I try to like purse his lips and then pull this, you can see this weird corner start to form. And it just starts getting weirder and weirder the more exaggerated that it goes. And this might be a bit of a problem with the Apple AR Face Kit. It could be a bit of the problem with the 3D topology, but you can see that it just starts getting weird as these shapes add up. It makes sense. So, and it's because of how dense the polygons are around the mouth as opposed to the in the mouth itself. Because there's just a bunch to stack up on. So, part of the beauty of this is there's less polygons around the mouth. So that means that if I just grab, or if I turn on, like for example, if I apply his mirror modifier, and then we give him a shape key, I can now take his mouth and
friggin' believable.
And if we move it over, take off the X mirror, and we move it to the side a little bit, we still got to be aware of the corners because the corners are just going to be funky. Or corners of mouths are always funky. Corner of mouths will always be funky, and there's nothing we can do about that other than just accept it. But basically, we can move his mouth a bit more freely, and the areas around the mouth will deform a little bit more. It'll make way for the mouth to actually move, and with a proper texture, like with proper shape key controls, it'll eventually look really good while it's deforming. Why are you? The hell are you connected to? I'll just pull that back in and hide it inside his face. But you can see, and with just a minimal amount of effort, and like this would take some probably, I don't know, bet there is some opportunity for improvement here, which I usually do just by this is why I changed the way the mouth bag is shaped whenever I do shape keys, so that way it doesn't like clip. Yeah, a little bit. But then, yes and no. See this area right here? Hold on. First of all, you have to move the mouth appropriately. You can't just like grab it and move it to the side like I just did for this example. I just wanted to show how the mouth straight up just moves to the side pretty easily. But like if I took this corner, like let's say I took this corner, turned on this, or turned on proportional editing, pulled it back a little, and moved it up a bit. On. Do-do-do. Because you're not wrong. It will end up with some jankety shit. I thought so too. And it does kind of flatten out the face, but you can kind of give it its round shape from the side a bit by increasing, or by using this group right here, essentially, to help unflatten the face. And then it mostly means that the rest of the face is determined, like its profile is determined via this cheek, and like how much you want to mess with the lips and how much you want to curve the lips around. It's weird, but it works. And I swear to God it works, because if I pull this back now, and up, back and up, you can see how much that kind of like, and rotate. You can see how much, you can see the potential though, right? Like for shitting around in like 3 minutes, or for less than 3 minutes, getting a shape key that deforms the mouth that much, you end up with so much more freedom. And for people who want exaggerated expressions, it's pretty awesome. And that's what I've been working on, or that's what I messed with this guy, or with Juice's face, because I figured it'd be fun. And then I'm trying something else I'm trying that similar element with the eyes. So that way the eyes can go and be super deformed and do a whole bunch of different and weird shapes, because I feel like that would be fun. And also, you've ever seen Virus's art? Yes. So Future Dimensions is supposed to have an entire aesthetic that's basically built around Virus's aesthetic. And if you've ever seen how Virus draws faces and all that jazz, there's a lot of expressiveness that happens in there. It's one of those things where it's not, this is an experiment. I agree. There's just something about the super expressiveness of it. And like, frankly, it's not like it's not worth implementing. It also allows you to create custom shape keys for very particular expressions. Like, there is no way that any of these faces can be made naturally using the AR face kit. However, if you wanted to have a toggle that literally just toggled into shocked face, like this one, that's what you would do. That's what I think. Does it work if you use Subdivide? No. I had to trust me. It doesn't. It's the big problem with the face.
Oh, come on!
I don't know, because Guilty Gear is one of those 3D modeled games that I think has the best expressions, or the most 2D expressions, because ArcSys straight up is a bunch of fucking 3D modeling wizards. Exactly. Here's the thing. Moira, you can use a Subdivide in order to get to this, right? That's not a problem. The problem then becomes when you're looking at it, like, I originally had a Subdivide on there. So that way, I forgot that key, or that my center key, or like center view key, was the same as my hot button or hotkey for testing out Catastrophe. My bad. Just made it rain cats. Originally I had a Subdivide modifier on Juice's face in order to make it look better. And then I had to apply it to try and keep it looking smooth and nice and try to get all these extra polygons. Yep. And because the triangles are essentially, that's topology reduction, right? Like, and you can see it a lot in a lot of 3D models. You'll see something like this happen, where like as it goes towards the terminate face of like, or the terminate side of the face, like this piece right here, I don't need all these polygons on the side of the head. So I could take this and this and this and just merge them at center, and then boom, that's quad topology. And then the same, or similarly down here, I could take this, or I could take some of this down here and gather it up and make it nice and smooth, so that way it doesn't work anything. Because like, you do this not just once, but like a dozen times on any given model in any given space, eventually you'll save like hundreds upon hundreds of polygons. And that's the whole point of it, is it's an efficiency tool as opposed to like a style tool. And it honestly, that's one of those things that I want to talk about, like with the topology, right? I know I tout low topology, or like a low polygon count, right? Like, I'm a champion of low polygon count because I think it makes it so that way models can end up more stylized, because it's one of the things that leads to proper stylization, in my opinion, is hold on, what the fuck? Why do you have nails on both sides? Should not have nails on both sides. Like, okay, so I am a champion of low polygon count, right? Because I think that it's a restriction that if you work within, you can actually get it to a point where it's like, oh, hey, that's unique and interesting looking. You don't need a high polygon count to look good, is my point. Now, having a high polygon count isn't bad. You just gotta know when to use it. Exactly, restriction breeds innovation. And like, it leads to creative use of textures, properly defining your silhouette, basically blocking everything out to where it's supposed to look good. Where the additional polygons add additional levels of detail. And so nobody's gonna get that except for you, me, and Zeno. Anywho. And also, no, I would say restriction is his father's name because necessity is the mother of invention. We have a character, in our Mutants and Masterminds group, his name, that Zeno plays. His name is Michael Innovation. So Michael Innovation, and he's just like a Tony Stark type, except a bastard. So Tony Stark type. And it's one of those types of things. Okay, I was supposed to be weight painting. Damn, I'm already off monologuing about how low topology is really good for innovation, because you just, like, this is good looking mesh, right? But I based it off my Spider-Man mesh, which is significantly lower topology. My lower topology Spider-Man mesh looks fine, but I needed certain levels of detail in there to make the musculature look the way I wanted it to. And that's perfectly fine too. You just got to know when to use it. That's my big thing. Like, I know I sound like, oh, hey, a polygon count over 100,000. That's terrible. No, it's not. I sound like that because I use that as like a metric of like, as an artist, on how much I can do. The more I can do with less, the better I am at it, right? But that's not saying if I didn't have more, I couldn't be better. For instance, if I had a higher polygon count, I could add shit into my model, like I could give these panel lines proper depth. now is that a level of detail I actually want / need? No. Yeah, like, so this body has a subdivide modifier on, but it still looks fine without a subdivide modifier. And then if we go to unshaded view, it still looks interesting and good. It's fine. It is what it is, right? You just got to know, what you're working with and how to use it. Also, none of this is textured. This is all just face coloring. I just wanted to make a Spider-Man model at one point, and then I was like, hey, wait a minute, that's actually a really solid way to do a base mesh. Exactly. Here's the thing, though. ArcSys uses a high poly topology. I have found, not just ArcSys, but good toon shading happens better with higher polygon counts. Like, you want to actually see the real trick here. So if we come in here, and look at V3 versus V4. Or V2 versus V3 is what I was talking or meant to say. Helmet. I actually, in order to get the smooth lighting to work on my face, I actually had to add topology. I didn't like adding topology to my model because I thought it was ruining the look of it. It didn't. I was kind of just being a bitch. And that's my prerogative, because I was stuck in the mindset of, oh, I need to use less polygons to make this better, right? Because if I use less polygons and it looks just as good, then clearly I'm a better 3D modeler. Not necessarily the case. For instance, yeah, like you can see here, significantly fewer polygons. But you'll also notice that my mouth moves significantly. Wait a minute, I can show this off even better. 1 second. Do I have a V2 still? There we go. See, V2's mouth moves fine, but there we go. You can see how it's a little bit more jankety, right? It's also not dynamically lit, which is its own thing, but that's beside the point. Meanwhile, if we jump back over to V3, the mouth moves a lot more smoothly, and it feels a bit more natural. That's the kind of thing that you have to wait. It's one of those checks and balances things that I've found in 3D, where it's like, oh, do I want more polygons so I can do something better, or do I want less polygons so I can do something efficiently? And then that all comes down to your style. Like, if you want to do semi-photorealistic, you need a lot more polygons so you can move more realistically. Because I don't know if you noticed this, but go look at a human face real quick. Just like regular people don't have points on their face, like individual 1-dot points. They have an infinite series of points on their face. And that infinite series of points moves smoothly and organically, and it's a pain in the ass. Photo realism stick face 3D. But it's also why you'll see whenever like artists are going into making a face and trying to make it look photo 3D, they'll usually typically go for sculpting, which is a significantly higher polygon modeling technique. It's not my personal prerogative, but like that's because I like working with simple shapes, and I like starting simple and then building up. This is more like starting simple, this is like starting complex and carving out what you need. Also, this leads, or high polygon stuff like this leads to retopology, and retopologizing is a pain in the ass. So, I gotta fix that jacket at some point, don't I? I will eventually. Maybe. I do miss the hoodie. Maybe I'll fix it in time for winter. Although I also live in the South, so this type of jacket is fine. Oh, okay. I get it. Fine. Yeah, we're getting Go the Distance. Because one of the examples that Virus sent to me for this guy's face was Hercules, and it's been stuck in my brain since. Oh, we're not getting the normal version. Okay. What am I doing? Weight painting? In pain? Are you kidding? I love wearing jackets. I wish I was in the North. I wish I was in freaking Canada. If I was in Canada, I would be a happy program. You know, computers run more efficiently in the cold. All I'm saying is, if I was in the freaking North, I would be so efficient. Let's see here. We do not need these nails. In fact, we don't need anything but this one finger, because that's what we're trying to do. Weight painting. If you're gonna store me in an ice cap, store me in the one next to Captain America. I'm just saying. Make it so when they find one superhero, it's a 2-for-1 special. That's so dumb. Hold on. No, stop that, brain. Okay, so fingers are weird. And I haven't weight painted this finger correctly yet. Basically, all I'm doing is getting it down to such a point where it's like not a pain to when I bend one. Wait a minute, I can actually just show you. Hold on. So currently, when I bend this knuckle, it pulls down too much, and it doesn't. The first part of the finger doesn't affect the previous part of the finger enough, and that's what we're trying to fix. And this is why weight painting is a pain in the butt. Because now I have to come over here and basically start. I have to fuss so much over it, and it's just such a pain. And the best tool I have for that is this. There was one video by Dicko where he's talking about weight painting, right? And he says if it doesn't look good whenever you weight paint it, swap your brush to 0.2, or like your brush's strength to 0.2, and then just use 0.2 until it starts working. And you can see here, that already kind of looks better. However, I'm actually thinking the front of the finger, like the actual fingertip, isn't being affected enough by the previous bone. So then we come over here and do the exact same thing. And then after I'm done doing this, smooth it out. So for instance, now I can take this bone, and it compresses it. Press is a little bit weird, but it'll lead to a more flowy, bendy look to it whenever it's done. But that's also what we have the smooth brush for, is making it a bit more smooth between these parts, mostly on this upper part of the knuckle, and then and basically we got to do that to crop up the entire finger on the entire hand. You can see why this becomes a pain and why I wanted to do this, or I only want to do this on one half. I'm also not too big of a fan of the topology that I used for this hand, but it's a little late to go back and try to change it. It's actually something that I learned to do differently whenever I was working on Ganbon Tian's model. Because I ripped the hands that I use on him from the hero character from Super Smash Brothers. So basically, I cheated just a tad by not doing by not modeling those hands myself. And it's great because you get to see how an industry or some industry professional would have treated it to such a degree where I get to see how Super Smash Brothers made their hands. And whenever you see how Super Smash Brothers makes their hands, it's honestly really interesting. It's one of my favorite parts about pulling models that other people have made, is being like, hey, how did they do this? You know? All right, so that finger, it's looking pretty close to done. So I know I got a couple 3D artist people or friends and people in here, and that's who the main crowd of the 3D modeling talk is for. For the people who don't do 3D modeling, how do y'all feel about it? Like Reload and Doc and y'all. I know y'all don't. Y'all just like looking at it because it's like, hey, I'm looking at a professional, or I'm looking at a scientist in their field, and it's, oh, sparkle, sparkle. Look at that. They know what they're talking about. Or is it more, I don't care. Either's fine. I'm just curious. I want to know what makes the brains. Frog blink. I love that blink. Just I'm sorry, I don't get it. All right, word. Yeah, see, and now if we look at the finger as it curls up, that actually looks really nice as as like a finger curl. And that's what we're shooting for, is we're trying to smooth it all out and make it all look good. Part of that's going to be fixed with bone roll too, so like we'll talk about that later, or I'll talk about that later. It doesn't typically matter, but it helps make things easier to control. Unfortunately. I'm not going to worry about the space between the fingers too much because it makes me sad. I hate that space. It's a weird space. Okay. So this hand, the hand actually controls too much there. Or the finger controls too much there, so we actually have to fix that. A weird cover of Paranoid, holy shit. Not a, oh, never mind, I take it back. Not a weird, a freaking badass version. Seems to satisfy just my mind if I. So, Gundam Breaker 4, that game that I streamed last week, just because, even though I was supposed to be on vacation. By the way, the trick with weight painting these hands is that they're all individual pieces, so I can just assign them a value of 1. It's super easy, and it makes my life so much easier, just from a personal point of view. That's beside the point. I was just looking at my hands and I saw or thought of that. I beat that last night. Yes, due to popular demand of people wanted to see what I did with Gundam Breaker. Hey man. I also didn't try very hard for that stream, if you didn't notice. I've also seen you playing it, or you're playing it a lot right now. Haven't you been, Reload? How far are you in it? I beat the story last night instead of going to bed at a reasonable hour. Nice! So have you gotten to any of the parts where you get MG components? Turns it's stupid. They added MG components after the story. So that way it's like, hey, bud. We heard you liked having big pieces. Genuinely aggravates me. Because now I have all new parts. I thought there was going to be new stats to the MG parts was my big concern. There isn't. Let's see. Yeah, it is. Yeah, see, look at that. That finger actually forms into the hand properly, and then it just like, that's what we're shooting for. The only thing I don't have working properly is this piece. And I think that's more of a, I don't have the webbing between the fingers properly weight painted. Okay. Oh my god, yeah. Well, to be fair, I'll actually talk about this on my model because I can show you, because I have actually similar designed hands. Exactly. Yeah, if you look at it, my hand is just a box with like little nubblies sticking out of it. That gives the illusion of the webbing between fingers. I was actually watching the one of the final cutscenes last night, and their hands kept snapping into place for like what their hand poses were supposed to be, and I'm just sitting here like, was that on purpose, or did they just not have like proper hand animations? I'm not gonna hold it against them for not having proper hand animations, but like, You mean to tell me that professional animation Are professional animators cut corners too? Damn. Oh yeah, I know. To be fair, same. You think it's the benefit of working on robot characters. You don't have to worry about some of this organic stuff. The ooey gooey bendy flexy pieces. Have you seen how much clipping they have in that game too? And how much do you think I care? 0. It's great. Love it. To be fair, you're also looking, I see what you're talking about. You're also looking at like a shield part as opposed to an actual hand. Because like, I know the sub knuckle shield has an extra hand in it, but it's different, right? Hold on. I do kind of want to talk about something. I've been getting a little bit fun, or I'm having a lot of fun creating the various models that I use. Like, yes, I did one finger, just one, and that's it. That's all the weight painting I can stand. Not really, I'm gonna. Oh, it wasn't a hard one. It's not a hard thing to do. Let's be real. I've been sitting here wanting to play this all. I've been moderately addicted to this. I've been moderately addicted to this game for the past week. And all I was gonna do was just like, first of all, show off my Gundam model, which is all G Gundam. Not even like clever all G Gundam. It's the only piece that isn't G Gundam is the Pale Rider helmet. The rest is Burning Gundam and Master Gundam. I didn't even mean to do the backpack as Burning Gundam. Because, like, who cares what the backpack is? You can turn it off. But it's pretty good. Also, I upgraded my Gallant mod. I think it looks much better now. I'm super excited to get the MG version of this Lance. Let's see here. I tried making Gundam Spider-Man. I think I could try better. I think I could do better now, if I'm being real. The whole thing with this was that I just wanted to include double web shooters. See how that worked? Got a proper Burning Gundam because, you know, you got to. And even though they're named incorrectly right now, we got Star Burning Gundam, you know, because I have a type. Then we got Build Burning Gundam, because again, I have a type. And then we have Blazing Gundam, because again, I have a type. And if you've guessed it, it's red and on fire. Then I don't know how else to put this. Other than I was sitting in Discord with Hero and like a couple of other friends. And they're like, hey, make a girly pop Gundam. I'm like, bet. Or I couldn't think of anything better to do, so I went with it. So we made I made a Gundam that I have labeled Gundam Lollipop. And this one comes in two parts of I needed to test my abilities. And also I saw a post on Twitter. Yes, that's the idea. But I saw a post on Twitter where they used Gundam Barbados' hands as the hand bra, and I was just like, wait a minute, that's kind of awesome and genius. And plus, look at this. Like, this was my thought was, what if a bimbo was was like a proper Gundam model? And so we got the thigh-high boots, we got the mini skirt, we got the big boobs, and we got honestly, you want to see something stupid? I used a fuselage to give her a lollipop. And then, because I thought it was extra funny, what's her weapon? Let's get back. So she's jumping up here and she's got a giant hammer. Because of course she does. And when I get the MG version of this hammer, I'm going to give her that one. But honestly, I feel like it's pretty... Honestly, I think build-wise, I'm like genuinely proud of it. Oh yeah, also there's like a little skull necklace in there. And the way the skull is positioned, it looks like the skull, it's a skeleton that's just sitting there holding her boobs up. I think that was pretty funny. I don't know why. It's stupid and silly. And then, it's to really show that I'm the ultimate gunpla builder. Made Shadow the Hedgehog. I got nothing for this one. I'm just proud of it. I think I got the head spikes right. I got the nose in there. I got his angry eyes. The shoes could be better, but I wanted to... Frankly, most of the builder parts had to be used on his head. Just to get like the curve, or to get all the shaping right. Honestly, I'm just really proud of it. And I think I did a good job. Exactly. Also, like, hold on. As much as I love being kind of a shithead about it, both the Shadow the Hedgehog and Gundam Lollipop models go super hard whenever you're on the title screen. Gundam Lollipop, because it's supposed to be kind of like Lollipop Chainsaw. Like, tell me that doesn't kind of go hard. Like, oh yeah, she's here to kick your ass. Hold on, now I gotta show you with the Shadow the Hedgehog so I don't feel like a weirdo. No, wait, shit. Not gonna lie, I love the personality that's on display in that game, but I don't think I would enjoy playing. Wait a minute, is that just somebody? Oh no, that's just somebody making a Lilin model. But like, see what I mean? You could just hear his theme song coming at. Hold on. I only wish I could make him properly skate. Plus, he's not made of actual SD parts, so he's taller than an SD. Kinda wish you could customize the background colors of this now, so I can make it properly red and black. God damn it, I'm gonna have to make a diorama of him just sitting in the... I'm gonna have to make a diorama of him, like, loading up his gun. I'm not mad about that. Just... I had better things to do in that game. Like, I want to go through and actually do some new types. Yeah, I know. Actually, no, my end goal is for Gundam Breaker Force to get all the achievements. Which is a real friggin' shame. You wanna know why? You wanna know why? Because some of these achievements require events to happen, and I have to post stuff during the events, so I have to keep my eye on it for whenever events come up. Kind of mad about that, actually. Also, I don't know what these... I have no idea for these hidden achievements what to do for that. Like, the only one I can assume is... Or, like, I'm only kind of assuming here that one of them is going to be... Let's see here. I'm assuming that one of them is going to be get your model to survive all 50 waves of a survival wave. Then there's going to be... Spoiler. What the shit?! No, I don't want to do that. I didn't know. First of all, I didn't know I could do this. Oh, cool. Beat the final mission on the hardest difficulty. Okay, got that. I'll do that'll. God damn it. Complete all the quest ones. Yep. Honestly, none of these are surprising except for the Diorama Master. And there's just a... Not gonna lie, I might just cheese that one and like make fake dioramas that don't do anything to fill up slots. Why? Because I'm going for the achievement. I'm not going for the actual thing. If I need them later, I can always delete them and then reuse the space later. And not feel bad about it, you know? But we're getting all... This is going to be one of my other 100%ed games because it's so doable. Aside from the event one, which is going to just kind of piss me off, but like that's beside the point. It helps that it's just genuinely my type of game, so. Which is just kind of pretty close to, Have you seen the negative... Have y'all seen the negative reviews for this game? It kind of is weird to me. Like, most of the negative reviews are like, oh, it's not Gundam Breaker 3. And I'm like, okay. Oh no, don't worry, I have. I will invest in the diorama mode. At some other point. I just don't... To get the achievement, I probably won't invest in that. But yeah, so like most of these reviews are relatively positive. But if you look at like the negative reviews, it's all like the pros are like, oh yeah, you can customize a lot. And then the cons are like, there's no end game, the combat's simplistic. Like, dude, y'all realize it's a builder game before it's a fighting game, right? I will say, I kind of agree with this part The UI is not great. But like, eh. And it's, to me, it's just wild to see some of these negative comments. Like, did you guys not realize that you're playing a customization game? You're getting action figures and smashing them together. What did you want? That's all it ever advertised itself as. The fact that you thought it was going to be something else is, that's on you. All right, back to the actual task. Weight painting. Oh, look. It's the exact right finger. I can too. They want a Gundam game, not an action figure game. And those are two different types of games. So I can get it. I really do. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to go ahead and fix this webbing spot on all these fingers as I see them. Yeah. But that's like getting mad at Dragon Ball Sparking. Okay, so Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is coming out soon, right? And one of its big things is that it's not a fighting game. It's action figures that you're smashing together and having fun with. That's what it's supposed to be. And it's like, there are proper fighting games for this, but that's not what you're wanting when you're coming for a Dragon Ball game, you know? No, not that. You probably could in Gundam Breaker, but in the sense of like touching their faces together, it'd be like, nah, kith. Dragon Ball, not so much. Because Dragon Ball just doesn't have that type of like, hey, let's customize and put our toys together over here, you know? Much to my chagrin. But, oh, wait a minute, that does not stop us. You wanna know why? Because I've seen, check this one out. If you really want to make your Dragon Ball Z characters kiss, just build them in Gundam Breaker. And then make them go Super Saiyan. You have that option. And he has Dragon Fist. It's great. I straight up love all the Gundam Breaker 4 stuff I've been seeing on Twitter. But that's also recoil coded, so like, let's be real. It's playing towards its strengths there. It has found its intended audience. Time for the other finger. Time to move on to the other fingers. It is really. Have you seen some? I know I've posted a couple of them in the memes channel. And I know I should stop talking about it, but have you seen some of these ones that they've posted? Have you seen the Magikarp one? Please tell me y'all have seen the Magikarp Gundam. Let's see here. Did I post it in? Have I been posting it in memes, or have I been posting these in Mecha Madness? Yeah, the cardboard box one. I love that one. I want to build that one. Yeah. Yeah. And like one of those negative reviews actually said, not worth the AAA price. Sure, I get that. And frankly, agree with it. It is not worth $60. Unless you're like me and just toy coded. And like hardwired to want to play with your toys. And that's what that is it's letting me play with my toys. But like I said, I'm the target audience, so. Like, that's like getting mad at all the people who want a new Call of Duty game getting to play Space Marine. And you're like, oh, I thought Space Marine was going to be a heartfelt story about brotherhood and camaraderie. No. You know what it is? It's, haha, I'm Big Space Marine with chonky boots and I get to go squish bug. Not a bad thing. You just gotta realize, ooh, is that what? Am I the target audience? Yes? No? Then maybe buy it on sale later. Honestly, have y'all seen Space Marine right now? It looks really good. However, I'm not gonna pick it up probably for at least a paycheck or two. Just due to the idea of, one, there's so many games coming out right now that it's kind of, I don't want to have to keep chasing the next game. I'm just kind of wanting to sit here and enjoy the game I got. Which I've been doing, which is why I haven't been playing Gundam Breaker on stream, because I thought about it today. But then I'm like, nah, I think this one might just be a Recoil enjoys it on his own time kind of thing. In one of those few rare moments of self-actualization in my whole streaming business slash career slash whatever. Hey Dooms, how's it going? Dude, you played Helldivers. You'll be fine. Although, yeah, no, I totally get that. I unfortunately did. It looks not great. And frankly, it kind of misses the whole point of Minecraft, in my opinion. Minecraft ain't a game about having a story, except for the one that you make up with your friends along the way. The real Minecraft is the Minecraft we made along the way. So, plus they keep casting Jack Black and stuff, and like, I like Jack Black alright, but like, Come on. He doesn't need to be in every video game movie. He isn't just an instant pass for a shit game movie adaptation. Okay, so that finger's all right. That finger's done. At least to a point where it's satisfactory. Just blur up the inside of here real quick. Give it some, so it should mostly still be there. Yeah, which it's looking like it's gonna be kind of cool, but like I'm also just sitting here kind of like, I played a lot of Helldivers 2 when it was out. I kind of don't need this, you know? I'm kind of done. I'm a little over fighting bugs. And if you could guess, Halo ODST wasn't my favorite Halo game. That one was like so much fighting bugs. But you know, the people who it's for are getting it and are like super happy about it, and I'm okay with it. That's good to have. I'm glad that they got that. There. That's the same website that the other bot recommended, huh? Honestly, that does just kind of feel like what it is at the moment. Is bugs have just replaced zombies for some reason. Like, dude, I live in the South. That's just my life. Screw you. Walk outside and I just have to carry a can of off as if it's a bolter. That's weird. That should have worked.
Double rainbow? What does it mean?
If I was buying anything and I was turning it into a bolter, I actually have an idea for this one because somebody made it. Somebody was talking about one of the new Nerf Pro guns. No, not Nerf Pro. Let's see. here. Nerf. Shop all Nerf. Hasbro Pulse, you are disappointing me again. It's one of the new Nerf rival guns. And it's already kind of shaped like a bolter, and apparently it just fires really hard. Yeah, so I'd get that. This one! It's already basically a bolter. First of all, there have already been pro Nerf sports. It's what basically there Nerf battles. So basically actual like real life Nerf battle fight thingies can get pretty competitive. If you have, it depends on who you have there. If you have a bunch of people looking like this, not so much. If you have a bunch of people looking like this, kind of. It's just softer paintball, or at a certain point, it's just softer airsoft. And so what it'll do is it's just like, you'll have a whole bunch of people who are like, hey, I take this way too seriously, so I care about the FPS that my Nerf gun fires at. And so then they would start modding their Nerf guns. Nerf being a bunch, or Hasbro being a whole bunch of people where they're like, hey, we don't like that they're modifying our Nerf product. So clearly we're missing out on some market share. How about we make a line of Nerf guns that's more tailored towards adults? Thus the Nerf Rival line. And the Nerf Rival line, I actually quite like. I have this gun in red. It's awesome. It shoots like 130, fires 100 rounds. It's great. I love it. Oh, they also got this one, which is just like an underslung turret, and it just feels really badass to shoot. Anywho, beside the point. Nerf Rival, though, has its own issues, and then like some other companies, like there's a company called Dart Zone, they started doing their own thing, and they were going for a more competitive market, and so then they made something, and so basically came out that like, hey, if you use, instead of full-length darts, half-length darts, the half-length darts fly better. They are more accurate, and they go further. And so then, so Nerf is now making a new pro line, which fires half-length darts. And so it's a bit more compact, they fly further, they fly farther, and it's still foam, but like, you know, it's more designed for like, hey, this is for the 15 to 25 crowd. And I've looked at these in Target and been like, I want one. But I keep having to remind myself that I don't have anybody to shoot with Nerf guns in my vicinity, so why do I keep buying Nerf guns? It doesn't stop me from buying certain Nerf guns, like I have the Nerf Needler. That shit freaking rocks. But that's kind of my... That's kind of where, but that's more of a display piece than it is an actual Nerf gun. But yeah, there is professional Nerfers, basically the same way there is professional games of tag. And if you didn't know that was a thing, it is. I'm not making that up. Go look up professional tag. They have like a little obstacle course and stuff that they play tag around. Basically, any game that exists, there is likely a pro scene. All right, Ralphie. That was the kid's name in another Christmas Story, right? And I find that there's something weirdly appealing about toy guns. Like, I don't like guns at all. But, like, something about a toy gun makes it supremely appealing to me. Don't know what it is. I like to call it the brain rot. Or I like to attribute it to the amount of brain rot I've got in my head. I can also attribute it to the same part of my brain that legitimately wants to go and become a toy designer, though, so, like... You know what one benefit of having toon shading is? Even on these hands that are more organic, it makes it so much better. Just like straight up. Yeah, exactly. It's a one that finds the good branch and it says, "Hey, this is a gun. This is a little toy gun now." Love that heart of the DNA. It's that part of, or it's the part of the brain that likes pretend, and I think we all can appreciate that. Realistically, when you make a fist, this should probably actually be closer to like that. Because there is that weird little pocket there. It does, you basically, you don't go past a 90-degree. And like the one that would probably be closest to this knuckle.
Harry baby.
So it could kind of go like that. Yeah, there we go. I don't know. I don't think Juice even has hand tracking, so I don't think this is going to be that big of an issue.
But all my light puns would have brightened your day.
I hate weight painting so much. It's so stupid and boring. It is what it is. Not exact. It's something that needs to be done, so I gotta do it. I don't like it, but I gotta do it, and somebody's gotta do it, and unfortunately I'm that somebody. Same way about doing chores about my apartment, honestly. Like, oh yeah, who's gonna do my dishes for? Oh, it's me, isn't it? I have to do my own dishes. Beans. How y'all feeling about this later start to a stream? I don't know how I feel about it. I kind of just did it because I didn't feel like streaming or starting stream earlier. Basically out of laziness. But I also kind of noticed that more people seem to show up towards the end of a stream. Motherfucker. I had noticed that more people seem to end up showing up at the end of a stream anyway. So I kind of figured a slightly later start might be better anyway. Plus, it lines it up better with the Monday, or lines it up with the Monday streams. There it goes. Oh wait, I already did the pinky, didn't I? Haha, hell yeah! So now comes the extra fun part. We get to see if how the rest of the hand deform, or how all the fingers deform together. And then take it around individual origins and basically just do that. I feel like that speaks more to where the bones are properly positioned than it does to anything else. And then do some actual positioning of the fingers as if they were properly curling into a fist. Because that does. Did you know that when you make a fist, you don't come straight back all the way? So like if I look at my knuckles right now, it makes a like a hill kind of shaped. It's pretty neat. So I might want to take like, so I might need to take some of the bones a little bit and do a bit of repositioning for them. Yeah, so like this.
Oh, come on!
And then this one would curl in slightly more because of that. It's kind of hard to tell in this view. And with that color. it's not perfect, but for what hands need to be, it gets the job done. God, I hate rigging so much. That's a lie. I like rigging. Setting up the bones and saying, hey, or setting up the various control systems, like the IK and FK controls and the programming, all that shit, that makes my brain happy. Weight painting itself, not so much. But, like I said, needs to be done, otherwise the model won't move, and then it won't look very good if it doesn't move. And if I wanted it to not move, then why not just make a statue? I think I actually didn't finish the pink out now that I'm thinking about it. I think I had it like half started. So I just need to come back through and do this last little bit of blending between the two joints. Oh, so reload. What language did you play Gundam Breaker 4 in? I'm assuming it was not English, but I'm hoping it was. I don't know, you seem like a sub, not dub person. Mostly, I need your like opinion on a thing. First of all, damn. It's not what I wanted to hear, but that's because I swear to God, one of the characters is Matt Mercer, and I can't find the online documentation for it, and I wasn't paying attention when the credits rolled. And I don't want to have to do that mission over again just so I can see the credits. Because, like, I swear to God, Kuro Kante. Okay, Kuro Kante. That's who I think is Matt Mercer. And maybe maybe Artal. Could be both. It could be Matt Mercer is popular enough that I think he could get two, and talented, skilled enough as a voice actor that I feel like they would give him two roles. Also, it was really funny when I was playing. Like, I was playing a couple of missions where Kuro Kante shows up in Discord the other night. And him walking up with essentially Burning Gundam's arms and Master Gundam's everything else really got under my skin since I had Burning Gundam's parts and Master Gundam's arms. So it was like, he was my evil double. So I made him my like own little personal rival in my head. Like, you son of a bitch, I'm taking your arms and I'm having a complete set of both. And then suddenly I got then I suddenly maxed out one part and got to do the swap OP skills. It was great. Yeah, here's what I've tried that. I tried that. Yeah, so like Gundam Breaker 4 English voice cast. We go to behind the voice actors. We don't get the English voice cast. Except for like a handful of people. Yeah. Yeah. We go to IMDb. We don't get the English voice cast first. Cause like I retweeted a tweet that Sung Won posted where he's like, yeah, I voiced the English voice for Chaos, and I'm like, I knew it. But yeah, it's all focused on the Japanese voice cast, and it kind of gets on my nerves because I feel like English voice cast put in some freaking work there, man. I wish that not heavy. Bandai Namco Filmworks reveals English dub cast for Gundam Seed. No. But you see what I mean? Like, looking it up, they just don't care about the English dub. They care about the Japanese dub because, well, gee, are you surprised that the Gundam game is more beloved by weebs that preferred sub over dub? Oh my god. Sungwon did a fucking amazing job. Also, the first mission he comes up and is like, hey, do you want to join my team? I literally was like, yes, let me. Come on. Like, I can tell you're the bad guy because your name's Chaos, but like, hold on. New Gundam Breaker had too much focus on PvP. They'll try to rectify. Okay, we're just gonna mute this because I don't really care about the final cutscene. I just want the credits. Japan. Like, I literally only missed the English VA section of this. Aha, America. We're in the, we're there. How much effort do you think it would take to go into production? Voice director, casting director, release management. What the shit? Do they not just, are they not going to, are they not going to credit the English voice cast? But, like, they did such a good job. And the whole English dub thing was, like, one of their selling points. Like, oh yeah, no, we care about HR. No, I want to care about, I want to know who fucking voiced the characters. Also, workload's not too bad right now. Yeah, so like, oh, don't worry. We have the, I call bullshit. That feels kind of scummy. Know what I mean? Hey, wait a minute. Some people are popping up there. Whoa. I don't know. I feel like this is one of those things I'm gonna have to come back to like a year later just to actually get all the information. I also kind of want to go complain on the Reddit now. Like, hey, yo, what the hell? What happened to the other people who worked on this game? Like, you know, it wasn't all Japanese, right? Some of us enjoyed the game in English. Okay. That should do it for, or I think that should do it for the most of the fingers. The thumb I have to do, oh, the thumb. Deselect. Deselect. There we go. Thumbs are also supremely hard to weight paint. That's something else that I want to complain about. Because they got, like, this part of the thumb, not so hard. It's just the regular finger. This part of the thumb, though, the base of it, ugh. I hate weight painting so much. That's what this is all turning into, is it's a big pain in the butt. but it is what it is. But once I do get it done, I can just transfer it over to the clothes and then be done with that, and I don't have to think about that anymore. That'll be fun. Do appreciate that number so much. I got Hero's opinion on whether it was Matt Mercer as Kuro Conte too. He's like, I'm pretty sure, yeah. It's like there was one line that he said, and I was like, yep, that sounds like Jotaro Kujo. I should not be harping this much on Gundam Breaker 4 whenever it's not a Gundam Breaker 4 stream. But I do really enjoy it. It's been a hot minute. Like, I played New Gundam Breaker, which was pretty solid. But I also never played Gundam Breaker 3, so I had nothing else to compare it to. So, you know, that. But like, only thing I heard about it was that some people were like, "Oh, it's a bit slower than I'd like." And I'm like, "All right, cool, fair." Some people, or some of the negative reviews had that same comment for Gundam Breaker 4. I'm like, if it was any faster, man, you'd basically have no point to use the hypertrance stuff. And no, that is not. And like, come on, hypertrance is freaking rad. It makes you you go Super Saiyan. It's kind of weird whenever you have a fan base that's spread that over, or like that much over various types of gameplays and personalities, right? It's like the Archie Sonic problem almost. Or it's like the Sonic problem, where like it's so many different things to so many different people that it's kind of hard to properly define what it's supposed to be for most people. And are you talking about the voice acting too? Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's like they just decided, nah, we ain't gonna credit these guys. They didn't do anything. They just showed up and like spoke for a couple hours. They did more than that. Some of those performances, like Sung Wong, was supremely good. He actually talked about how, or he actually posted in his he actually posted about it, and he was like, yep, basically I just put my own opinions on AI as like this character's opinions, and it worked. I'm like, all right, that's fair. Given the context of the story. Go bend the thumb. That looks all right. And this, if I was gonna, so. So. Honestly, that was kind of my big gripe. Like, it has a different name whenever you're at the results screen. Come on, man. Also, somebody I saw online was like, all right, my big complaint about the story here with the final boss. You're talking about all this endless potential for human creativity, dude. This is just a ripoff of the Dark Gundam from G Gundam. You didn't actually create anything interesting there. You just copied a different guy's design. I'm just like, all right, we like to call that irony. Would have been nice if they did actually give Lilin a proper custom mobile suit. To be fair, he was also in lore supposed to be a developer, so like you'd think he'd have a bit more creativity with it. I'd like to find the next to final map. The one where you're like chasing or you're going through essentially a trench and it's got just like sprues or like used up sprues there. I thought that was a cool touch. But I feel like that might just be the way I'm wired for like that type of Easter egg. Really kind of hammered home the point of it. Oh yeah, it's Gunpla, not actual people, or it's not actual. Right. Toy robot, not real robot. Well, you missed the part where they took my shirt twice already. So, I thought that was Virus's job. Come on. Also been too distracted with Gundam, so, you know, higher priorities. Yeah, but does Virus change out the bucket? If anything, I'm just trying to make the job easier. I think this bit's gone a little far, Robin. I'm not gonna lie. Best I can offer you is a pan. Otherwise, I get accused of pandering. Moving on. We're talking about Gundam Breaker 4, my latest obsession. Oh yeah, see, there's the pan. I love my emotes so much. Oh my god. That's one of my favorite things about being a streamer. Just getting to make emotes. Oh, you like it? It's, I'm pretty sure it's an Essinger one. Yeah, it's Lost Voice by Essinger. And he worked with Young Medicine. Most of the songs that we've been listening to for like the past couple, I want to say 30 minutes, have been Essinger in some way, shape, or form. Or Essinger related. If you don't know who he is, he recently did like a couple months ago, did a song with a band called Cryoshell, and Cryoshell did the music for Bionicle, and there is the connection to Recoil. It's just generic rock, let's be real. With a little bit of techno. Dude, of course. Come on. Also, yeah, Reload. That's how I feel about a lot of kits. I saw somebody made a Gundam Maxter in there because they were like doing the, hold on. I don't think I liked it on Twitter. Oh. Where you at, Gundam? It's fair. Somebody made a Gundam Maxter, and I got super excited. This is like, oh man, I want Gundam Maxter. I want to be able to box people in this game. And then no, they put Gundam Rose in, but not Gundam Maxter. I'm a little pissed about that. Anyway, anywhoozles. I was super impressed by it, and I'm hoping they add Gundam Maxter as DLC at some point, so that way we can have all of the Gundam models or all like of the G Gundam models in game at some point. I just feel like that'd be super fun. These classes have a built-in Dwayne the Rock eyebrow. I'm not gonna be able to find this pit or post, am I? Beans. Yeah, I use Pandora, by the way, in case you're wondering what like the algorithm is. Yeah, it makes me sad. I think they just didn't want to figure out how to do it like a proper boxer, as opposed to like giving him just like the melee, or giving you the melee and being like, "Yep, that's it. That's your lot. Have fun." Even though most people would have been like, "Yeah, I don't care." Give us the skate or the surfing cowboy football playing boxer. That's all we want. They even released a P Bandai of the kit recently. Come on. It's not like it's without precedent. Hold on, I have to come through here real quick and actually just... We're gonna just turn off all these constraints real quick. This body is about to become unconstrained, unreasonable, unmoored from reality. They really... Dude, it's like they made the toy commercial without making the toys. Or it's like they made the toys, but they didn't make the commercial for it. What the shit, man? It's weird. Like, come on. This should not be that much of a... This should not have been that much... This should have been a slam dunk. I've got the Gundam Maxter on my couch behind me. I've been meaning to build it, I just haven't yet. Because... Hey, wait, Robin. Will this feed the inner simp? Seeing an untextured body. Does this help? He's got a butt. He is very well defined. This is Juice News, by the way. I still have to finish that, I still have to finish, kind of got, what was that? F9, no, it wasn't F94. What the hell was that called? The Durandal Valkyrie. I still gotta finish that set. But also, I kind of don't want to. Because once I realized it doesn't actually transform, it's just like, pull it apart, put it back together in a different configuration, I kind of got disinterested. So, I feel like these shoulder bones actually need to come. Wait a minute. I have the shoulder blades defined. I can probably... Yes. And also, I have a personal problem. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Let's tentatively put building Gundam Maxter on stream for tomorrow. I might not do it entirely on stream, but I will start it on stream tomorrow for just chatting. Well, it's kind of the only way it's gonna get done, isn't it? Hold on. Wait a minute, I feel like that's probably more accurate, because that will take most of the shoulder blade with it, leaving the bicep mostly in charge of the shoulder bone. Yes. Oh, yes. What is happening with this arm? Y'all really enjoy model kits on stream? That's not a bad thing. I'm just genuinely curious. I always find it to be like one of those... I always find it to be kind of like a dip for attention, you know? For attention retention. And Matt, the entire reason I did that turn off of constraints is so I could check to see if the arm actually... That deforms all right. I feel like we could probably put a little bit more on the top end of it all. Doo-doo-doo. Hmm. You're right, it is a good or it is a good second screen activity, isn't it? Nice. God, I have the same attention retention as Subway Surfers. Shit. Hey, wait a minute. So does that mean if I went over and just did... So if I go over here, open a new Chrome window, and then look up... I do this. Nah, you know what? Let's do Minecraft. There we go, 10-hour Minecraft parkour. How long have I been streaming? Where is that number? 2 hours already? Yeah, I was about to say. There we go, we leave it muted. Then we do this. And then add browser source. Add existing. Oh, wait. Create new browser source. Attention. Oh, wait, that's a browser source. I don't want a browser source. What I want is a Windows source. Huh. Not display capture, not game capture, window capture. There we go. Minecraft parkour. Oh no, this is farming, not parkour. Stop that. There we go. And then we just move that down here to the corner. And I can do... Wait a minute, that doesn't work. The fact that you instantly tricked your brain makes me a little... like, yes, this is on the, this is clearly the right path. Hold on. I probably just need to do it like this, then. And then, like that. There we go! I got it working, it's fine. This is so that way you guys can focus while I'm This is why I don't... Look! It's your attention It's your attention deficit. Come on! Bad time citrus. It's okay, most people can't seem to spell. Yeah, and then put it underneath the comic. Oh my god! The fact that it works is the thing that gets me. My problem is that I am always there for the Reddit. I'm always... Oh. You're not the first person to say they really like the bounciness of the hair. I didn't realize my hair was that big an appeal factor for my model. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I didn't realize it. Which bodes poorly for me as, look, you can't just say that because I haven't fed you in a hot minute, okay? Okay, that is fair. Wait a minute, isn't there a cookies part? Or there's a cookies thing
Hail
you can
to the
do.
king.
Just throw cookies. They'll fall down. Actually, here, you want me to make it even better? I've been meaning to do this. So... No. Aha! First of all, where is have a cookie? Object customization. Enable selected. I wanted to turn this into snack time, or I want to turn have a cookie to snack time. So there. Ta-da. Now if you do have a cookie, it'll throw chicken nuggets, Mountain Dew, and Oreos. As well as a regular cookie. Yeah, so don't worry, you're getting plenty of junk food down there. It'll be fine. Don't worry, I've moved on to harder sources of caffeine. Not even joking, I've started drinking actual energy drinks. I don't know why. It was something primal, something about it just called to me. It's great. Well, the one I've been on in particular is like I really am enjoying C4. Just because they keep having like the sugary flavors that I like, you know? Okay, so now ooh, I don't like that actually. I think I gave that too much control to the lower arm. Is it bad that I'm feeling like... Is it bad that I'm almost getting distracted by the Minecraft parkour? I feel like it's a little bit bad / telling. I've never hit on the fact that I have ADHD and ADHD sales tactics work on me. I've just been an unfortunate goon who it just works on for some reason and I don't like it. First of all, being distracted on stream is never actually being distracted. That is called engaging with your community. What, you couldn't handle your 300 milligrams of caffeine? Come on. It's only 300 milligrams. Let's see here. So I think all of the shoulder needs to be... The goal is to have the shoulder basically be all green, as it's between the actual shoulder bone, which doesn't actually control the shoulder because there's no actual muscles in the shoulder. Oh, that just sounds kind of rude. I don't feel like it's ever a good idea to yank food away from, or yank, unless it's like life-threatening in some way, shape, or form. I don't think it's ever really appropriate to yank something like that away from someone. Could just be me, though. I also just don't like it when people take my stuff, so. Oh yeah, you can't piss off the vending machine then. See, and this is why the 0.2 thing actually works with... It's basically like smooth, or it's like the blur tool, but like not. It's great. Oh, don't. See, this is why we don't have to keep you in the basement for anything other than the protection of, say, or of the general community at large. Yeah, it's not like we're keeping you in the basement because it's like, oh, we like having people in the basements. It was more like she keeps biting people. It's generally concerning. Okay, why was the mailman ever close enough for you to bite him? That is a legitimate question right there. Hold on. Are you sure you're not just a dog that learned how to type? Like, bro, come on. That's a little bit... I was somewhat joking. That somewhat might be a little bit more serious now. The blur. Here's the best part. I think that'll actually be pretty solid as far as... I feel like that's actually a pretty solid deformation there for the bicep to have on the shoulder. Like a true neat. Hold on. Do you know you can't technically raise your arm up or your bicep bone that high? So it actually, in reality, will stop right about there, and then the next part of your motion is actually going to be handled by your shoulder bone, like so.
Unfriggin' believable.
I know, it is unfriggin' believable. But it is. That is how it works. Yeah, so if you want to actually try this one out, one of the ways I know this is when I was in college, I designed a shoulder joint for like my robotics class, and I had to figure out the kinematics of that, and I was trying to I was talking to my professor, and he's like, "Yeah, you know, your shoulder doesn't actually do that, right?" And so the way he showed it to me is he took his hand, put it on top of his shoulder, and tried to move it up, and then told me to repeat the same thing. So if you put your hand on top of your shoulder and try to raise your arm above your shoulder just by like going outward, like in a wing, like you're trying to flap your wings, you can see how far your shoulder joint actually moves. Because you're basically restricting the shoulder to the actual, you're restricting that bone essentially to just what it's supposed to be doing. It's an interesting little time. Human body kinematics are interesting, right? And so then you can sort of see, like if we look up anatomy, yeah, so you can see that if you're looking at the actual shoulder parts, the shoulder bits and pieces and bobs, you got your what you basically just did was you limited it to your delta, or you removed the action of your trapezius muscle, and you're only using your deltoid, which is the outer part of your shoulder. Whenever you're working out your shoulders, by the way, that's why you only raise your elbows, or that's why whenever you're doing that exercise, you only raise them up to being horizontal. Squirrels, you get one guess as to why there's Minecraft footage. Because y'all are a whole bunch of ADHD children, and I have to keep y'all entertained somehow. Yeah. Anywho, moving on. So the next bit of the motion that would carry the arm up over your head is the trapezius muscles, which is, you know, this muscle across your back and shoulders. It's actually really cool. And so I was mostly learning about this anatomy to figure out what made it move forward and backward. But it was interesting to learn about nonetheless, just because it's now something I can tell for whenever I'm making 3D models like this bone. Actually do the things, you know? Because now I can see, like, oh, if I move this bone, if I move this bone, it should affect the trapezius parts of the muscle as opposed to most of everything else. So what I can do is start taking my paintbrush and then just basically start roughly painting in the trapezius. And then because it's the actual shoulder, or it'll also contain the shoulder blade a little bit too. So you can actually see how much of the back is going to be controlled basically via this one bone. And this is why artists have to learn anatomy. It's great. I hate it. I try to not go super far with it. So for instance, now, even though I just kind of like did it really roughly, you can kind of see, sorry, it already kind of looks a fair bit better just due to the fact that I have those bones properly controlling the muscle that it's supposed to influence. And then I'll use the blur brush in order to actually smooth everything out and make it look all like, look, he's gonna be able to do a proper lat expansion. This is gonna be great. Also, apparently I gotta make his nipple move a little bit too, so. Otherwise, it's not organic. God, weight painting. I hate you so. And you hate me. So at least it's a mutually assured destruction. Did not mean to bend that bone. And basically we're just basically what we do to weight painting is mostly trial and error. And that's like my big part of it. It's all vibe based and all feeling based. And when I think 3D modeling, I think of the more technical elements of 3D modeling. And so it's, in my opinion, one of the least technical elements of 3D modeling is weight painting, because it's all, you can't have a 100% correct way to make sure every body moves. And it's just... You feel me? Eventually this all like look all right. You can also see why I stick towards more robotic character designs, personally, because when you have a robotic character design, you can legitimately have a correct way to move and an incorrect way to move. Like, if you go and look at my hold on. If you go and look at my model, this shoulder ball is completely separate from the actual body, so it has a complete, it's moving as intended, and it moves the right 100% the correct way. That's actually not looking too bad, though. Ooh, too much. Yeah, I think I took too much away from the actual shoulder here. Or from like the actual shoulder bone here. Most of this should actually be in the body and not the bone itself, or the shoulder bone. Realistically, does that mean the shoulder bone is kind of more of a helper bone than it is an actual, like, bone? I think that might be more accurate of a way to think about it. Helper bones, in case I haven't really explained them, are used to aid in the motion of a model. A lot of people use, like, Hero, he's taught me how to use helper bones to make like knees and elbows deform a bit better. And they're really helpful. They are like legitimately helpful. Most of the time when I use helper bones, I use them for stuff like these pistons. Because they need to act independently and then they just kind of need to follow a torso. It's an interesting time. And like that's the kind of technical stuff that I think is super cool about 3D modeling. And I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but that's the part I like. Oh god, did not mean to grab that bone. Oh my god, he is going to be able to do a proper lat spread. You know, for Juice, that makes a lot of sense. He's supposed to be kind of like an alien. He's supposed to be somewhat of an alien-like fighter, right? As in, like, he goes and fights aliens for fun. Just, which I like as a personality slash, like, characterization idea. Him being a guy who just likes to... He's basically kind of like Earth's version of Goku, which is funny because... Not... Whereas, like, I heard you were strong. I'm going to fight you now. He's not necessarily in the fight because he's here to save a planet. He's in the fight because it's just thought he was like, yeah, this seems like fun. It's Saturday night. I had nothing better to do. Might as well go fight some aliens. And so, like, and he likes WWE type stuff, so we made sure to... I made sure, because, like, I did a bit of a redesign for him to try and make him fit that wrestling aesthetic a little bit more. I feel like this should be... Okay, so if we take this and... I feel like that means this needs to... I wonder if that's actually... Now, no lying. Everybody who is watching while I'm being quiet and working, is the Minecraft working? There is no need to be ashamed. Honestly, fair enough. To be fair, Warframe is also pretty. At this point, I feel like Warframe's also pretty good second frame or screen activity. You know? Yeah, but like it really doesn't require a full brain of attention. Yeah, it's the second screen activity doesn't mean it doesn't go on the main screen. It just means that it doesn't require your whole brain to do anything. You're not actively thinking. You're just you're running through the side, or you're running through mowing down Corpus or Grenier, and just like doing your own thing, right? At this point, it's mostly second nature. I think that's actually good deformation for this. Let's see here. Let's move it to the front. Good stretch. I feel like it could be a bit better. Yeah, it's called freaking whatchamacallit. Who's the plant lady? Saren. That's what Saren's whole shtick is. Hey, let me just have one button held down and the game is done. Also, yes. I am 100% cheating by having the ADHD bait on screen, Zeno. Then who am I thinking of? Oh, I thought Saren's was plants. She puts out little pustule plant dudes. Well, yeah, dude, it's supposed to be background. You're not supposed to be paying attention to how well he actually parkours. Come on. I've seen that a few times, like on TikTok, where I'm because let's be real, that's where the ADHD videos all we can blame TikTok for the prevalence of ADHD videos like this, right? Uh, pretty much, yeah. Uh, exactly. Every generation needs their own mental screensaver, and so this generation's is Minecraft. I could think of worse screensavers if it were being real. Also, hi Zeno, how are you doing? Your, your slime came in here and made a joke about your character while I was talking about low poly art. Because I said low poly art breeds innovation. Or, well, some virus said low poly art breeds innovation. And so, or restriction breeds innovation. And so the joke was, oh, so that's Michael's mom is restriction. Yeah, no, it's a good joke. To which I joked that no, it's necessity is your mom, restriction is your dad. At this point, I feel like you just need. Do you want the video so you can go comment all the timestamps where he falls off? And then be like, you're a fraud! Quick slow dance? That sounds like an oxymoron and a half right there. Specifically, what do you mean cursed Lego? Also, fun fact, the pluralization of Lego is Lego. Kind of like how, and not Legos. It's actually very similar to like the pluralization of fish though, to where you can technically do both. It's just that one is more correct than the other. What's the cursed Lego? No, what? But why though? But why though? Oh, it seems to be anytime I make that not my main Chrome window. Why do I feel like low-key this is about to be one of my best weight paints? Hold on, here has it said there's an option called like accumulate that you can turn. Is that brush? Ah, yes, it's a brush setting. Aha. So accumulate, turns that on. I think we'll do regular, I think we'll do accumulate on blurring. Because I like that better. Okay. Also, like, that's not the worst I've ever seen, I feel like. Let's see. Oh shit, it's almost... Stream has weirdly flown by today. Not that it's a bad thing. Just one of those things I kind of didn't notice. Love a good quick stream. Fun fact, this is the main theme for, I want to say 2007, 2008 Bionicle. Love it. It's called Gravity Hurts. This is by that brand I was telling you about earlier called CryoShell. Love it. Okay, let's see here. In this entire stream, we have done the hands, the arms, and the shoulders. Don't know why it's mirroring that bone. Oh, but not this bone. I bet you, object. It's got probably something to do with how they're named. Shoulder.L, shoulder.R. Bicep L, bicep R. Weird. Alright, whatever. No big deal. I still would like to get some of the torso done, or some more of the torso done. So let's keep going.
Hairy baby.
Turn off. Honestly, I really liked how that catastrophe worked. So torsos are one of those hard parts to weight paint, just because they always end up a little bit funky. Because it's all, like, it's going to end up clipping into itself at some point. And the sooner you come to accept that, the better. And so then you just got to decide which way is this torso going to bend more often. Is it going to be a torso that does crunches? If that's the case, then you probably, if this is going to end up being okay, because whenever it crunches into itself, you're not going to be able to see this part of the body too much. But that does mean that the back needs to spread out like a lot more evenly, so that way it like properly looks like it's arcing. However, if you're going for more of a Dio Brando type character who just sits there and goes Ree, you need to do the opposite and have it bend out. You have to bend both ways. I try to find a nice middle ground between the two. And you can technically do that by having like 4 sets of bones instead of a 3-bone spine. But in my opinion, a 4-bone spine works just fine enough. Or a 3-bone spine works just fine enough in most cases. And like I said earlier, this is all going to mostly be... This is all mostly going to end up becoming... This is all going to end up mostly becoming a pain in the ass anyway, so... For the most part, if you're going to use it for a VTuber model, you don't have to worry about torso rigging too much. Unless you end up with something like me, where if I lean, hold on. Where if I lean forward, you'll see my chest start sticking out through my shirt. And normally, most of the time, whenever I have my models, most of the time, most of the outfits that I have my model in don't actually have the torso underneath. Only has the neck piece. And that's what I think is super helpful about certain low poly designs. Because learning where and when it's okay to like get rid of stuff or hide stuff and make it like not super apparent. Okay, so let's see here. If we crunch, or if he does crunch, that deforms pretty well. If he does a re, I feel like that deforms, or this could probably have a little bit more right here to help it smooth out a bit more. And then we can just kind of use our, or we can have our blur brush ready. To kind of smooth everything out where it was a little bit rougher before. You know what? I feel like we can actually apply a little bit more weight here. Like so. And then blur a little bit better. Because... oh, you know what I didn't even thinking about? So if he spins sideways, how does that look? I feel like that could be a bit better. I think we need to pull up the side a little bit more. But also, see how it's folding in on itself right there? That's not very good. That's deformed pretty solidly though. So we might want to pull the sides up. Or I feel like we're gonna want to pull the sides up a bit though, from up the chain. So like this. Yeah. The weird thing here is that sides and fronts don't bend the same way. And so you kind of gotta make the proper accommodations for that. Especially because side bending, getting all of these nailed will kind of give you a much better twist. You know, it would almost be kind of like a really good way to check this. And it would be kind of a science way to check it as opposed to like an art way to check it. It would be pretty solid if you could get a heat, if you did the workout for these muscle groups, right? And then you got like the heat map, or you got like a heat map of essentially how those muscles looked the more you used them. So like if I did like a set of side bends right now, and then got to see how much the side bends affected these parts down on the lower part of my hip, as opposed to like the actual side. I think that would be neat. but I'm also a nerd like that, so. Meh. I haven't even gotten to the butt yet. Oh my god. I hate weight painting the butt, but like that's just because it's such a complex jointed, or such a complexly jointed area that it just does not deform. There is almost nothing you can do to make it deform correctly. And it's just, it will now and forever always be a pain. And I don't think I'm the only 3D modeler artist person out there who feels that way. But let's see, look at that. So he bends to the side, all right. So if we take this now and we twist his body out to the side a little. Hold on, I'm going to move real quick so that way I can see how much I can twist. Chest barely turns. Yeah, see, I think that's actually an accurate amount of motion. Right there. And that's what... It's one of those things where you gotta remember when you're weight painting, you can't turn. This motion right here is not a singular motion. It is a compound motion. So you're probably going to end up with some weirdness if you try to bend it all, or if you're trying to bend it all into one bone. All right. So that's the torso, done in a mostly satisfactory way. You know what I think is also really cool about all this? Just kind of how it shows how interconnected everything is on the body. Like, I'm not gonna even say, like, from a, like, proper body nowhere, like a doctor, proper medical perspective. Just like from an artistic perspective. Seeing how the neck, or how the shoulder and the chest will actually affect the neck. Because if the neck bends down like this, it's not going to only be the neck muscle, right? Or the neck muscle group area, right? It's going to be part of the chest. And you can tell it looks wrong whenever you're only bending the neck. So for instance, I need to bend in some of this some of his pec area in order to make it properly look like it's forming. Yeah. And then I need to include some of the head too, because if I pull up the head, that's like if he's doing the chicken neck thing where he juts his neck forward but his head up, that's not going to look right. And if you sit at a computer and play video games most of the day and you're not in that pose, you have better posture than me. Fun fact, this actually has a scientific term called forward neck posture. And it has a less scientific term called nerd neck. And basically what it comes from is looking down too much. And that's why it's called nerd neck, because it's if you're looking down at your book or a computer, but it can also, it's not exclusively from doing nerdy activities like that. It can also come from driving. Because if you think about it, yeah, exactly. It's shrimping. If you're shrimping, you'll end up basically hurting your neck quite a bit. And it's not great, but there are also exercises. It is noted if you have this kind of shit posture, it's worth noting that there are exercises to fix it. Mostly having to do with trapezius muscles and other such. Yeah, literally every person who does art in this chat knows exactly that shrimpen feel. So I could probably get it much smoother to form if I added extra loops around the neck, but I don't feel like it because I don't feel like it. Virus, you appreciate the Minecraft in the corner? I'm following the trend. Also, I think hold on, wait a minute. How's this? Jingle, jingle. Jingle, jingle. Huh? Whoa. I do. It's a jingly pan. It's Panchaku. I still don't know. Was it shift? Okay, it was shift. So now I bend this bone up. His head does eventually disconnect. But that's because I need to actually properly weight paint his head. That's not hard, I just need to do it. Also, at the end of the day, that's a bit much. So more realistic, what would end up happening is they pull this bit and then this bit. And that would be There's enough weight painted there. Okay, if you move your shoulders in, how much do you actually move them in? I think a realistic amount of shoulder movement would be about like that much. And then the rest of it would actually be arm movement to do like that. But that's also a really extreme pose, and at that point you probably need to drop, or you'd also probably be doing a bit of this. Also, I feel like I don't need to scratch my back. It's not itchy. And so I think a little bit of that and a little bit of this. And a little bit of that. Yeah, Virus, this is the worst part of 3D modeling. I'm not gonna lie. But I do also feel like you would actually really like it because I think that your brain might be wired for your brain might be wired for just human motion. Not emotion, just straight up motion. To mess with you. To specify that it's not a cyber Earth thing, obviously. Like you have commerce versus e-commerce. I'm just saying there's the difference. Oh yeah. And then we pull. I still don't know why that one bone in particular will always be mirroring. Oh. Oh. It's probably got something to do with where the armature is in the mirror or in the stack. Doesn't it? Now it happens after the fact. So is it just because I'm in... Does the armature modifier need to happen before? kind of. So then let's move it back down to the very bottom. There we go. Okay, it wasn't where it was in the stack. It was... something was wrong with pose mode, essentially. So then if we move his body or his arm forward and this part up and this part up. Hold on, wait, let's move this part up a little bit too and this part up a little bit too to check how that deforms. And then move this part down to the side a little bit and then this part down and to the side a little bit. This part down a little bit and this part up a bit. Oh, I have to disable those. Dab. Virus, do you think Jews would appreciate his new dab? He do be dabbing. And it doesn't look too... realistically, it doesn't look too bad. My big complaint would be because the way this part right here is working currently. Wait a minute, is it kind of weird how I don't hate how the dab is actually a really good, or might be a solid pose to use to check your weight painting? I don't feel like that's normal. But like if you do it right and you have a whole bunch of like twists in there, it's not terrible. Oh, he dabbed. And throw. I know technically this would be part of where the rib cage is, so it should probably not compress the waist. It should probably not flex this way. But I have a sneaking suspicion that the artist slash animator who would be using this the most would eschew realism for posing, or for the flexibility of a certain pose. Girl, that is a compliment more than it is an insult. Yeah, fuck reality. We substitute our own here. Come on. Screw your reality, or I refuse your reality and substitute my own. This song comes up whenever I'm driving, and it always makes me feel like I should be driving at sunset as opposed to whenever I'm actually driving. All right, and now we get to move on to the hip joint and slash the leg joint, because if we currently look at the leg, it's ass. It's so bad. I hate it. Yeah, the problem with the butt joint, or with like the leg and butt area, is that it can move in 3 dimensions, right? So your polygons for it have to be pretty on point, because it's going to also be one of those areas where it's like, so if I do this, the butt has to properly stretch and expand to cover that area. If I do this, the groin has to expand while the side compresses. And if I do this, the front of the leg has to expand while the butt compresses. And that's all. It's all weird. There's like legitimately different, or so many different ways that people put out to there are so many different ways that people go about rigging butts in particular. Like let's actually look at this real quick, so it might disable Minecraft. Butt rig 3D. Yeah, like it is not uncommon to find, let's see here, bones, or an extra set of bones in the butt, literally just to help out that rounding. So for instance, Royal Skies has butt rig. Royal Skies. Is it not Royale? Is it just Royal? There we are. So I love him because basically what he's showing is that he has 3 bones, or he has 2 bones literally just to help make the pelvis move that much easier, which isn't wrong. And you can see how, and as you can like look at it, it moves really well. Now, the problem here, this is just for motion. Of course, I want to point out, I personally feel like that kind of hip driver is mostly necessary. It's one of those things that you can do. It's like, these types of hit and butt drivers are really helpful if either your topology isn't amazing or your weight painting isn't amazing. But if you can do, you can kind of get, you can work around it. Like, I've done decent butt topology. This is just like one of those things. It's like a crutch almost. And it's fine if you're actually using it for like an animated game project, but if you're using it for something like a VTuber model, Unity doesn't have the same driver system that Blender has. So you need to figure out a completely different way to kind of parent it, which is like, that's all it is all. He basically set it up as the parent, or as a parent that drives it a certain amount. And so you can figure there are methods. It's just a little bit weird. And also, no, we're not doing Subway Surfers and Minecraft at the same time. I thought about doing Subway Surfers instead of Minecraft, but then, like, you know. Also, there is, he has plenty of other, yeah, so MMD butt physics. You can see here that one of the one of the things that is really common to do is basically breast bones exist to help give your breast jiggle physics, because boobs jiggle. Let's not beat around the bush there. So do butts. So putting a similar bone in the boobs, or in the butt as you do in the boobs, to cause both to jiggle is not uncommon. And that's where I think, and so if I were to set it up correctly, or if I were to set it up this way, I'd probably put a jiggle bone in the butt that also acts as a helper or it has a helper bone in order to make it properly move. You know? It would just kind of be an excuse to have that bone do more than what I think it's probably designed to do. Using your bones efficiently. Oh shit, it's 7:30. Do I feel like tackling the rest of this rig tonight? No. No, I do not. So his entire upper body the rig is cleaned up. So the next time I do this, which will probably be next Saturday, or while I'm away, or instead of working, I'll be working on the legs and butt. Oh, actually, you know what? We can do something to make this, or to help show an extra little thing. So I just did all that work to rig his clothes, right? Or to like rig his body, right? But if I look at his jacket now, his jacket isn't rigged. That's not good. There's actually a fun little thing we can do. Actually, is his jacket still being mirrored? It's actually a fun little thing we can do where we can copy the weight paint from his jacket down to, or from his body to his jacket. And then we can just sit there and modify what we need it to do for the time that we need it to be doing, right? So I need to come in here and delete half the jacket first of all. Because realistically, we can do this to make my life easier. And so then we have his jacket. First step, you select your main body, right? You select your source. Okay. Step 1, select the source. Select 2, select the target. Step 3, go to weight paint mode. Step 4, click the weights button. Step 5. Click the transfer weights button. And now you'll end up with this menu in the bottom left, which is under the Minecraft parkour. You'll end up with this menu in the bottom left. We want nearest face interpolated. That means guess. Guess at whatever you're closest to. Then we're going to say ray radius, which is how far it's willing to look away from itself. So about 30 feet. Then we're going to say we're going to take our source by name, and then it'll copy the bones from the name. And so then we're going to say tell it to replace, because we don't have anything on the jacket yet. And then we're going to say the mix factor is 1. So now, if I come over here, go to object mode, select my skeleton, select my coat, go to weight paint, and I look at there. Hey, look at that! The arms are already, or the arms of the jacket are now rigged. Hey, look at that! The shoulder of the jacket. Hey, look at that! The shoulder. Oh my god! It's all rigged. It all copied. Now, something to note for this is that because the shape of the jacket, you'll notice some shit didn't work right. The neck of the collar, for the example. The center of, but it's pretty solid. It's a good start. So we're going to have to go through and fix it up later. But more importantly, I can go over here, go into pose mode, move his shoulder up, move his arm up, bend his elbow, and it all works. It just works. And like, there's some stuff that's going to need to be fixed. We already acknowledged that. And there's some stuff that could be refined. But first thing, there isn't any clipping. That's something good to know. Second thing, it's bending a lot more with the actual torso than it actually really needs to be. Like, I might want to set up another set of rigging components in order to deform the jacket, or like this hanging part of the jacket separately. But that's for a different time. Like, what if I want this to dangle? I'm gonna need a new set of bones. Not a big deal, just add a new bone. But that's the kind of stuff that we gotta deal with whenever we're rigging and weight painting and all that jazz. I've been lucky that most of the stuff that I've made for myself doesn't have those dangly bits. However, this is different. This is weird. That's fine. I'm definitely gonna have to add bones for the collar. That's not a problem. I've done that on my own collar before too. It is what it is. You just gotta deal with it sometimes. But it's still also really cool. I think it is anyway. Plus it saves me a shit ton of work. Because like, I don't know if you saw how long it took for me to work on that shoulder, but I don't have to do that shoulder again. Oh my god, that is helpful. Anywho, we're gonna save that now. And I think we're gonna call stream there because I'm hungry and I want dinner. So I'm gonna go get food. But before that, I have to save some cats. So, let's see here. Y'all, if I didn't know about that catastrophe emote, or the redeem, that would be impressive. It's still impressive. We like that. That means Ack had 100 cats worth of points.
Baby. Harry baby.
Thank you. I appreciate that. 110 is a good number. Anywho, so, cat number 1.
Harry baby.
Cat number 1 is Tom. He judges you for
Baby.
messing up the cat number, squirrels. That's what he judges you harshly. Look, just like looking at you like, Cat number 2. Again, judgment. We have a bunch of judgy cats today. Cat number 3. He's the judgiest bastard of them all. You just can't tell because he puts on a fake smile for you. Cat number 4. Can't you just feel the judgment coming from low poly cat? He doesn't have enough he doesn't have the texture quality actually to properly judge you. So, fair enough. Cat number 5. Dog Johnson. God, that's an old meme. Oh, wait a minute.
Harry baby.
That cat's probably not alive anymore, is he?
Harry baby.
Cat number 6. He's gonna cut you. Do not anger him. It's an asshole. Cat number 7. Fun fact, cat heaven is person hell. They just like to watch. Wrath! I love Wrath. He's my favorite Ben 10 character. Like, it used to be, it's so dumb that I have preferences, but it used to be Heat Blast and Forearms, but then like Wrath came in and he's just such a good personality. It's great. Cat number 8. Just chilling. Just chilling against the side of the comic walls. It's fine. He uses the fourth wall to his advantage. Cat number 9. Ah, good idea. We are getting food after this. And last but not least, cat number 10. Damn, we got some hungry cats as our last 2 cats. And speaking of hungry cats, that's me. Anywho, thank y'all for chilling out and hanging out with me while I did some weight painting. Definitely was more fun to talk and explain things as opposed to just sitting here doing it. Until next time, keep being heroic and have a great rest of your night. Which next time is going to be tomorrow, where we're going to just apparently be building, starting on building Gundam Maxter. So that'll be fun. Later. Yeah, we'll be working on Gundam Maxter. Don't worry. Let's see but before we leave, let's see if there's anybody I feel like rating. Let's rate Karst. He's playing Anna Bridge of Spirits. What the hell is that? Oh, I remember that game. That's a weird one. But if y'all like 3D Explorers, I think this is going to be a good one to raid into. In 3, 2, 1. All right, catch y'all later.